I've tried a ton of Void Warlock builds over the years, but this one right here takes the icing on the cake. We have infinite Void Souls which have escalating damage, spread weaken, and crowd control the entire battlefield. We have infinite Devour which regenerates your health, infinite ability regeneration so you can keep spamming your grenades, constant volatile explosions, and we even get infinite overshields on top as well. You literally have every base covered with this build. You're a true one-man army. Honestly, this may just be the strongest solo build in the game. Dim link for the build will be in my Discord, link for which will be in the comments or description below. At the heart of the build are the new exotic Warlock gloves, the Briarbinds. These make our Void Souls last 55% longer, which means they can tick for longer and cause significantly more damage over a longer period of time. Our Void Souls now also get escalating damage based on how many Void Soul kills each one achieves. 16.3% for one kill, then 34.5, then 50, then 83.75, and then finally 100% increased damage, so double damage after 5 kills, which is actually pretty significant. The amazing part is that you can now pick up your Void Souls and keep redeploying them, meaning you don't need to get all those kills in a singular Void Soul deployment. Briarbinds also open up the doorway to allow you to have multiple Void Souls at once, meaning you can control different areas of the battlefield, applying damage over time, weakening enemies, and slowing them while you focus on another area. Now, why are Void Souls so damn good? Well, first of all, they apply Weaken, which is a 15% debuff to enemies, and they slow enemies down by 20%. If you run Healing Rift, we also get our grenade and melee energy back thanks to Child of the Old Gods, whilst the Void Soul is draining enemies. And then when a Void Soul defeats a target, we gain class ability back on top. So if we have multiple Void Souls on the battlefield, we are literally gaining back tons of our ability energy every single second, all the whilst damaging enemies, weakening them, and slowing them down. Now, our Void build also has insane synergy with this setup. With Echo of Harvest, whenever we defeat a weakened enemy, we generate both an Orb of Power and we generate a Void Breach. Void Breaches grant us even more class ability energy, meaning we can deploy more Rifts and get more Void Souls. And then both Void Breaches and Orbs of Power grant us Devour thanks to Echo of Starvation. Devour regenerates our health to full instantly whenever we get a kill, and it grants us even more grenade energy on top. With both Devour and Void Soul Drain providing ability energy, trust me, you'll never run out of abilities to throw with this build. I've never spammed so many abilities in such a short space of time. You'll probably be at a point now where you're not going to be dying, but to add even more survivability, we can stack an overshield on top of all this. How? Through a perk known as Repulsor Brace, which is found on Void weapons. Now, Repulsor Brace grants us overshield whenever we defeat a Void debuff enemies. Our enemies are going to be weakened thanks to our Void Souls, and they're also going to be volatile, so we have two ways to activate this overshield. There's a ton of great Repulsor Brace options out there, but my favorite weapon thus far is the craftable auto rifle from Last Wish, Age-Old Bond. Age-Old Bond can roll with both Repulsor Brace and destabilizing rounds, meaning not only do you get overshields, but kills cause nearby enemies to become volatile, meaning just using the weapon itself can start a volatile chain, allowing you to get an overshield, so you're not always going to be reliant on your abilities to start the chain of events required to void debuff an enemy. Honestly, Hunter, Titan, or Warlock, if you have a Void build, this weapon just enhances them all to S tier levels. So in terms of the core gameplay loop, you'll want to deploy your Rift first to get a Void Soul, start shooting your weapon and throwing your grenade at the enemies debuffed by your Void Soul. Defeating them will grant you an Orb of Power, a Void Breach, and an Overshield through Repulsor Brace. All the while, your Void Soul is going to be regenerating your abilities thanks to its draining effect. Once you pick up that first Orb as well, you'll have Devour, meaning your health will instantly regenerate on kills, and you'll get more grenade energy back. You then have the option to deploy more Rifts and multiple Void Souls, or pick up your original Void Soul and deploy it elsewhere, depending on how safe the situation is. That last bit where you have the choice to make your original Void Soul stronger or deploy multiple ones makes this build really versatile even in harder content. So let's go through the rest of our Void build and our mods. Trust me, you're going to want to pay attention to this. For your super, you want to run Cataclysm. The small Seeker projectiles are going to really help up your burst DPS to nuke down those stronger enemies. I run Healing Rift because of the survivability and the ability regeneration from Child of the Old Gods, Burst Glide, Pocket Singularity, Vortex Grenade. We've already talked about Child of the Old Gods, which is a mandatory requirement for the build, and then I run Chaos Accelerant over Feed the Void. We really don't need Feed the Void as you're constantly going to have Devour through other methods. Chaos Accelerant is also going to juice up your Vortex Grenade, making it deadlier. Moving on to the fragments, we want Echo of Starvation for Devour from Orbs and Breaches, Echo of Harvest so we can create those commodities with ease, Echo of Expulsions to create more explosions, and then finally Echo of Instability, which when we defeat enemies with our grenade is going to grant us volatile rounds, which will juice up our void weapons even more. For our mods, our priority is going to be to maximize orb generation through our abilities, through our weapon kills, so we can get even more Devour, even more ability regeneration and super regeneration as well. On my cloak, I run Reaper alongside Powerful Attraction, which when we drop a rift to start the chain of events, our next weapon kill will guarantee an orb of power, and then Powerful Attraction will hoover up any existing orbs nearby. 1 stack of Bomber to increase our grenade regeneration, and then on my boots I run 2 stacks of Void Weapon Surge to boost our void weapon damage whenever we pick up an orb of power. I would run 3 Void Weapon Surges, but then I can't run the plus 10 version of my Discipline mod, so I run 1 Insulation mod instead to reduce class ability cooldown even further. On your chest piece, run the relevant resistance mods for the activity. And then on my gloves, I run Firepower to generate orbs from grenade kills, bolstering detonation to grant more class ability energy when we cause damage with a grenade, and 1 fastball mod because I just love to yeet those vortex grenades across the map. Then on my helmet I run 1 harmonic siphon to generate orbs from void weapon kills, ashes to asset for more super generation, and then run your second siphon mod relevant to your loadout. In terms of stat distribution, you want 100 resilience as your #1 priority. The 30% damage reduction it provides will help you survive harder content. 100 discipline comes in close second, so you can really spam your grenades, which puts out some serious damage. Recovery comes in close third. This lowers your rift cooldown, which starts the whole chain of events for your Void Soul. In harder content where enemies are a little bit more difficult to kill, you may want to prioritize recovery over discipline because you won't be killing enemies as fast and getting all that ability regeneration back. So having that higher recovery is going to help you to redeploy your rifts more often and just get more Void Souls. Then finally go for intellect, strength and mobility in that order. So there you have it, my favorite Void Warlock build ever. I've never had so much fun soloing content before, and I guarantee this build will be nasty in any team composition. If you enjoyed what I talked about today, remember to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Destiny build videos, both PvE and PvP. I'm Mr. Ronit, and that's it for today. Peace out, guys.